A new class is coming to Diablo 4 on top of the already 5 that exist in the game. And no, it's not Paladin, it's not even Witch Doctor. We don't know what the new class is, but leaks from data miners predict the new class is called Spiritborn. This new class will come with the new expansion, Vessel of Hatred. And what do we know about this expansion? It's coming late 2024, aka a year from now, in something like Season 7. They're playing on the nostalgia of Act 3 in Diablo 2, returning to Kurast with Mephisto and the classic temple city of Travancore. Blizzard said the jungle itself will be like a living, breathing character with personality. And there's already paths on the world map in-game that goes south to where the new act will be. There are 2 big upcoming patches for Season 2, which is the current season. In just a few days, on November 7th, we're getting 5 new really powerful class-specific rings, based on the malignant powers from Season 1. These rings can drop from the new boss Varshan, who can be found next to the Tree of Whispers. In the patch after that, on December 5th, which happens to be my birthday, they're adding an enchanting preview window, so there's going to be a view possible affixes button at the occultist, making re-rolling stats on gear a much better experience, especially for new, more casual players. Along with that, in the same update comes the Abattoir of Seer, which is a 6-week endgame event. It's going to be a highly replayable pinnacle experience, meaning it's the hardest content in Diablo 4. It's like the next challenge for your character after beating tier 100 Nightmare Dungeons and Uber Lilith. There's 25 tiers of this new dungeon, and there's a big increase in difficulty in between each tier. When you do this dungeon, you get a unique, overpowered glyph that you can level up 200 times. It's got a bigger radius than any other glyph, and it's gonna be essential for pushing those higher tiers. But this glyph only lasts for the duration of this 6-week event. It ends with Season 2, which is 23rd of January. During this same time, as of December 12th, there's also a Christmas holiday event called Midwinter Blight. Fractured Peak is gonna turn into a blue, purplish Helltide area for 3 weeks. And by doing things in this zone, you unlock cosmetics. And it comes with some new events and activities, like this red-cloaked goat boss. Next up, we also got some Season 3 news. We don't know the name or theme of this season, Blizzard just gave us this orange rune text. Their focus for Season 3 is adding more endgame content. One part of that they announced is the Gauntlet, meaning in World Tier 4 there's a weekly challenge dungeon with leaderboards for you to compete against your friends, clanmates, and the rest of the world. This dungeon for the week has a fixed seed, so it's the same monsters with the same map layout. So it's really gonna be about min-maxing and optimizing your route like a true speedrunner. Loot will only drop at the end of the dungeon once the timer has stopped. And you score points from picking up proofs of might, and depending on how well you do, you get a different rank. If you do okay, you might get a silver or gold seal, or if you're a real gamer and get in the top 1000, you get a numbered rank. You'll be able to see these seals on people's profiles. And the leaderboard is of course split up between classes, solo versus group play, and softcore versus hardcore. And at the end of each week, the people with the highest rank will be permanently added to the seasonal Hall of Ancients, where their name and build lives on forever. And then there were a couple takeaways from the Q&A. They're working on adding even more challenges between level 60 and 100. They're also giving us the ability to switch between saved builds, so you can optimize a build for killing bosses, save that, and then quickly swap to your speed farming build when you're doing Helltides or helping out a lower level friend. They're going to make improvements to farming living steel, which is one of the materials you need if you want to kill Duriel. Currently, you have to farm Helltides, which isn't always active, so if you log in and play at the wrong hour, you're screwed. So this update might introduce new ways of farming living steel, or they might simply just give us way more living steel when we farm Helltides. They're working on better social features, like a group finder. This, however, seems to be a focus for the expansion later next year. And finally, the big one, itemization plans moving forward. Blizzard's focus is fixing the problems. For example, that it's too difficult right now to compare items, and that there's too many complicated conditional affixes. And it sounds like they want to move away from this, cleaning it up, simplifying the long list of current affixes. They also want more noticeable difference from your gear, and they're working on new ways of modifying or creating items, aka crafting. And possibly the best change to Diablo 4, they're making the process of collecting aspects go into your codex of power, so we're not gonna have to clog up our stash with legendary items anymore. And this update specifically is coming shortly after Season 3. On a scale of 1 to 10, what do you think of these changes coming to Diablo 4? I must say I'm pretty optimistic. This is like an 8 out of 10 for me.